It's not about revving up. It's about increasing levels of engagement. If I do a physical attack and I follow through with it, and I do this, and then I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and then I go really fast, then you're still able to train. But if it were to continue, then you would engage, and you would continue to change. You'd have a joint lock there, you'd have a strike, you'd weave the shuttles, all of these other things that you could do. But you're responding to my changes as they happen and not overreacting so that when the violence stops, you stop.
Right.
You don't continue the violence past the point where it's necessary.
Right.
So if I continue like this, then you continue to respond. That's it. There you go. So that was effortless. Yeah. It was off camera, but it was pretty cool.
Off camera.
So when I come in and I engage, that's it. Then you continue to respond and adapt to those changes. That's it. And you're just taking me out of my feet, right? There's that sigh, which can only be done with a kind of compassionate awareness. That's good. Okay? Oh yeah, fine. See, there was an example of me not hitting you in the face when I could have.
Oh.
Right. So that was fast enough that I could have nailed you. But as I got there, I drew the momentum back in.
I could feel it. I could actually feel that.
Yeah.
Like I knew I was doing that, but I knew I was too late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
So from here, now here's the thing that we do. When I'm playing this dance, this becomes like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers, except one of us is going backwards in high heels. But when I'm punching, I will often get caught up in the rapport. So it becomes a drill, and I will then remind myself and you that I've been caught up in the drill. So I'm moving, but I'm moving in a way that I know you will counter.
Okay.
So I'm moving, but I know your level of skill, and I will only attack you with a level of intensity that I know you can counter. Continue flowing. Don't get stuck. That's it. So I will only attack you in a way that I know you can block. Uh-huh. And then sometimes I'll mix it up a little bit, so I can go to higher levels of skill. But for the most part, there's always a level of skill that I do not employ because it would hurt you.
Yeah.
And sometimes I don't employ it because your skill level is high enough that it would hurt me. Uh-huh. Right? So we've been able to get to the point where, now I cannot hit you. Right? I can go in and change the direction. The only way I can do that is to draw you out and then be faster. So how do I defeat that? Is I get you to attack me. And if you attack me, then now your offensive energy increases and your defensive decreases. And then I can counter. So if I wait for you to attack me, then I can get you. See, just the thought of it, right, took you out of that natural, comfortable awareness.
Okay.
See, so if you attack me, there you go. So you don't want to do it. Right? If you punch me, then the whole situation changes. So this is why we say there is no first attack. The basic classic karate line: there is no first attack in karate, because it's a poor strategy. Not that it's just an idealistic thing, it's that it's a bad idea to attack first. Just as it's a bad idea to attack back. If I punch you, as we were saying before, last week, if I attack you and then you attack the attack, you just become tense and rigid and you add more value to the attack.
Right.
And you increase the conflict. There are people who live their lives in opposition to everything else. And it happens to the best of us. We all do this. We define ourselves in conflict. And I am not that. This is who I am. Rather than taking responsibility for that. Having compassion and awareness removes that conflict. So now, in order for me to practice, I would have to get you to attack me. But even the thought of attacking is now contrary to everything that we've been doing so far.
Right.
So that's why you improve faster than I do.
So I need to have something to do while you're doing that.
Mm-hmm. I recommend nothing.
Nothing.
It worked for you before.
Okay.
So if I'm coming in and trying to move, you're just maintaining that balance and that harmony with the universe. As I try to come in and get you, you just intercept. That's it. And so you're engaging there, but because I haven't attacked, you don't attack. But if it's a real attack, you feel the need to engage because I'm thinking about attacking.
Right.
But the attack has not happened.
Right.
But if it were to continue, then you would engage and you would continue to change. You'd have a joint lock there, you'd have a strike, you'd leave the shuttles, all of these other things that you could do. But you're responding to my changes as they happen and not overreacting so that when the violence stops, you stop.
Right.
You don't continue the violence past the point where it's necessary.
Right.
So if I continue like this, then you continue to respond. That's it. There you go. So that was effortless. Yeah. It was off camera, but it was pretty cool.
Off camera?
Yeah, well, that's your moment. Your moment.
Oh, man.
So when I come in and I engage, that's it. Then you continue to respond and adapt to those changes. That's it. And you're just taking me out of my feet, right? There's that sigh, which can only be done with a kind of compassionate awareness, right? The fact that you were holding me, you were regulating, you weren't trying to destroy.
Right.
You're taking that violence and you're going, let's just take him out of his feet. So I'm here. You know, yeah, and it's one of those things where, you know, oh, come on, he should be able to counter that. But yeah, I can't because I have no feet. I would have to take more drastic measures.
So what I'm feeling now, in terms of everything so far, is there still seems to be a level where things rise, right? And that's the part that I don't like.
Okay.
So if you just attack and do something, I'm going to do something, and something will happen, I'll get out of the way. But it's when
is this.
right. And so I feel like I need to just come in really fast and do something to stop you before you get revved up.
Right. Okay, that revving up, it's not about revving up, it's about increasing levels of engagement. So what's happening there is,
that's what I
so here we go. If I do a physical attack and I follow through with it, and I do this, and then I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and I do this, and then I go really fast, then you're still able to train, you've trained to be able to, I almost got you there, but that's good. So now you're kind of tense right now because we're in mid-discussion, right? But if you just continue to flow through with it, walk through me. That's it. You still have to flow and change. Right? So as I raise the level of speed and the rapidity of the changes, right? It's not necessarily the speed of the movement because you can respond very quickly to a very fast thing.
I just thought of something.
Yeah.
This is real. I think this may be important. So what I've noticed is, okay, do that thing, just getting faster and faster. I'm going further and further outside of me. Now, if you do that again...
Outside of your proprioceptive map. Yeah.
But if I go inside more...
That's it. There you go.
Then...
That's right.
If I get able to do that... Hold on a second.
So that going inside is that afferent power, right? You're going into your awareness of yourself. So you're increasing your afferent power, which increases your ability to connect to the ground, which increases your ability to connect me to the ground. So your structure improves when you go inside yourself. Your structure falls apart when you go outside of yourself.
Yeah,
when you have the efferent power, you lose the ability to change and adapt.
Because what I realized, when you had your arms out like this, for example, I'm going like this, and I'm way out here. My body is like out here, as opposed to now it's in there.
Right, and you can do that without even collapsing. Just think of connecting me to the ground. So you can extend the chi through your fingers, as we say, right? But you're maintaining that connection to the earth. So you're extending the connection with the earth outwards. You're not extending away from the earth. You're not drifting out into orbit.
Right.
So this tension, this efferent power, this is you going into orbit.
Right.
Whereas this is you extending the launch pad from the earth. You're making this long elevator that goes out and connects to the satellites. Like
it's
that.
such a different feeling from...
Right.
Now it's inside.
That's it. You still have to, don't collapse the arms, just collapse the intent, or condense the connection. So you want to feel the energy, the awareness going from here through your body into the center and into the feet. Okay. That's the difference that works. Don't confuse that with collapsing. A lot of people confuse it with collapsing. A lot of people relax and they collapse. You want to be able to relax and extend. Just like when you play music, you want to be able to accelerate without getting louder, right, or get louder without accelerating, or slow down without getting quieter. So we don't want to confuse afferent power with lack of structure.
Got it.
So the afferent power still can be big, it can be small, it can be whatever you want, but it's important to remember it's not the same thing. Right. You can get louder and faster, or louder and slower.
Right.
You can get slower and faster, whatever. Slower and quieter, or slower and louder. There we go. So, there. So you maintain this, there we go, that's better. So there, so that slight change right there.